Hi, I'm Kara Hurst, Vice President of Worldwide Sustainability at Amazon. And I really wanted to open today by thanking all of you for the opportunity to join in your conversation, to join Amazon Business and engage and share what we're working on at sustainability at Amazon. We're really excited about the way that we approach sustainability using Amazon's scale and speed and size to execute across a wide variety of sustainability issues, environmental and social. And our programs include things like responsible supply chain management, social responsibility, packaging programs like frustration-free packaging and shipped in own container, e-commerce packaging standards, renewable energy, energy efficiency, circular economy, sustainable products, and policy setting. So there's a lot underneath what we think about when we engage with sustainability at Amazon, as I know all of you do in your companies as well. And at Amazon, we ground all of our work here in science. And we started the sustainability team looking both at a science-led perspective around our own information, as well as what do scientists tell us about what's happening in the external world. And we know that science is telling us now we have a limited window of opportunity to make unprecedented headway into the journey on net zero carbon over the next couple of decades. The time is absolutely now. And the actions that we take in this time period over the next 2 decades will be of utmost importance in determining whether or not we can stay below 1.5 degrees Celsius of global temperature rise. So according to the International Panel on Climate Change, or IPCC, which many of you may have seen, the world would have to curb carbon emissions by at least half by 2030, and then achieve carbon neutrality by 2050 to meet this target. And all businesses, we know this, rely on stability to operate successfully, and all economic activity is exposed to climate disruptive events. And disruptive climate events continue to have an impact on our business, our operations, and all of your businesses and supply chains as well. So what we know we can do as a business community is to move fast and to come together across industries. Collectively, as a business community, we know we can look at our supply chains and our partners throughout all of our value chains as a way to start tackling some of the toughest challenges of working together. And we have to do this now. Sustainability has been an important pillar for Amazon for many years. It was something that I think based as a company that's headquartered and based in the Pacific Northwest, many of our early employees had at the core of how they were thinking about evolving our businesses. We know our customers care a great deal about sustainability. And with the climate pledge, we're going all in on our commitment to planet Earth. And we know that this is a really ambitious action to take urgent action against climate change. We're going to get there, and we're going to do everything in our power to stay focused. So we're working with our employees, with the industry, and with other companies all across our partnerships and our value chains to find ways to get to net zero carbon. I'm going to tell you a little bit about now kind of how this came to be and what we've been building over the last 4 or 5 years to really begin to understand carbon impacts within our business and sustainability. And a number of years ago, we said we're a data-driven company, and we need to build a carbon system to begin to understand at a very granular level where we saw a lot of these impacts happening. So we built this carbon system of record to track Amazon's carbon emissions, diving all the way down into individual shipments. And we were looking at servers, devices, products, transportation, all of the things we knew would have impact. We first looked at what we call finding emissions hotspots. So where are those emissions concentrated? And then we created systems to track how we were performing over time and followed steps then to reduce this impact at scale. And our team of climate scientists built 5 different models and this software system to allow us to really calculate an integrated carbon footprint for the entire corporation, which then helped our business leaders to understand the impact of their planning and their business decisions on that footprint. So we really look at something like carbon or carbon footprint, not just as an output externally of information, but as a way of understanding our business and how we impact the planet and how our decision-making can really make a difference. We're also strongly committed in the area of social responsibility. And we're obviously committed to conducting our business in a lawful and ethical manner, like many of you are, which includes engaging throughout our supply chains. We respect human rights, and we provide safe and inclusive workplaces to promote a sustainable future. We're also leading in renewable energy. So Amazon is leveraging, again, our size and our scale to make a difference here. We're committed now to reaching 100% of our global operations powered by renewable energy by 2025. And globally, we already are well underway to this. We have 91 solar and wind projects, some large utility scale projects across the world. And then we also use our fulfillment center operations. So we're putting solar rooftops where we have buildings and communities all over the world serving customers. Our Shipment Zero goal is another important public goal in our roadmap to 2040. And it's an interim goal. So Shipment Zero is our vision to make all Amazon shipments net zero carbon, with an interim goal of delivering 50% of those shipments with net zero carbon by 2030. I'm going to talk a little bit now, though, about Climate Pledge. And the Climate Pledge was something that we were incredibly excited to start at Amazon. We founded it about a year ago in September 2019. We co-founded it with Global Optimism and became the first signatory. The pledge specifically states that we will have a goal of reaching net zero carbon across our entire business by 2040, which is 1 decade ahead of the Paris Agreement goal of 2050. We knew that a goal like this, as ambitious as it is, would take partnership. And we have a great partner in our co-founder of the pledge. Christiana Figueres and Tom Karnak and their group Global Optimism have come together with us to guide us and provide accountability, guidance, and partnership all throughout the different phases of the pledge. Many of you may know Christiana Figueres. She was the former UN climate chief, and she's known as the chief architect of the first global climate treaty, the Paris Agreement, which I just mentioned before. She recognized, even in architecting that agreement, but that things are changing. And again, the science is driving us to different conclusions, and we do need to go faster. And she was embracing this level of ambition. So joining with this team, we've begun to form a community of companies committed to urgent action. This Climate Pledge community is really a place for companies to come and work together on these actions to achieve net zero carbon emissions. And I'm going to talk a little bit now about what companies who signed the Climate Pledge agree to. There are really 3 principal areas of action. The first is to measure and report your greenhouse gas emissions on a regular basis. There are plenty of mechanisms out there to hold companies accountable for reporting on these types of things. And we want to know that progress is being made over time. The second is to implement decarbonization strategies throughout your operations. So these are strategies in line with the Paris Agreement that are real business changes and innovations. These are things like energy efficiency improvements, renewable energy, materials reduction, and other carbon emission elimination activities. And then thirdly, where it's not possible to zero out emissions, you want to neutralize any remaining emissions with natural climate solutions, but just not any solution. These are additional, quantifiable, real, permanent, and socially beneficial offsets to achieve net zero carbon. So the Climate Pledge is what we call a big tent effort. We really welcome all companies to join us in this level of ambition. And as a business community, we need partnership from every single industry to share solutions, tactics, strategies, and ideas to figure out the details about how we're going to achieve net zero carbon. So we are a big company at Amazon, and we can't do this alone. We are in many different industries, and we know we can send strong signals to those industries that we want products and services to decarbonize. We do have the size and the scale to make a difference, but we want to encourage everyone to come along with us in this path. We've also established the Climate Pledge Fund, and this is something we're really excited to launch last June. Because the climate crisis needs actual investment. And you see some of this through what we have done in our commitments to purchasing electric vehicles, to investing in infrastructure. So in the pledge community, it's bringing together these companies and providing access to a more private space for dialogue and action, sharing of strategies, also concerns and questions around how this can happen. How do you set a goal and build this kind of intention within your company? How do you know to work backwards from 2040 and what that roadmap might look like? What are the new technologies and services that are available, and how do you come together to partner to invest in those? We want to share everything we know about innovation in this space and how our supply chains can also work together to scale up these technologies and solutions. We're going to create shared learning platforms and other co-investment opportunities. And we really would like people from all different industries to participate in those. So I hope these examples today have provided you with more understanding of what we're doing in the Climate Pledge, our level of ambition, and an invitation to join us in that. We want to give you a good picture of how we're working both inside and outside of Amazon to embed sustainability in our business and to share all of these practices with others. I'm now going to hand it over to a member of the sustainability team. Thank you so much for having me here today.